Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank y'all so much for stopping by the live stream. I really, really appreciate it. There's Jacob Tanjay. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. I mean that, man. Dinner's on me. Shout out to Norton from Chicago, man. They just left today, headed back to reality. We really had a good visit with him and his girlfriend. All my fourth quarter members, that's Jeff Retired. He says, hey, give it to us straight again, Cal. Well, that's the only way I can give it to you, man. You know, the only way I know how. What's up, Roger? What's up, Ray? He said, don't call me Raymond, call me Ray. All my old head. He said, Derek Casanova was one of them. He says, that's a nice scooter. You know, the same scooters cost half the price in the Philippines versus Thailand. Yeah, that's a ADX Honda. We've had three Hondas. I bought her a Honda Click 125. Then we went up to the Honda Click we started out with the Honda Click 150. And then we went to the Honda PCX. Then we went to the NMAX. Now the ADX, and we're getting a car next. What's up, W Secrets of Success? Yeah, all my old heads. Any new viewers and subscribers join us today. Welcome to the live stream. Anybody catching this on replay? You know, the peso is 59.11. It hit a record yesterday, 59.69. That's the highest it's ever been. I know somebody in my comments said he remembers it being higher than that. Well, I'm just going by the Philippine authorities. They said it set a record. And of course, if the war continues, it's gonna bypass 60 easily. You know, that's really what we're going to talk about, the effects of the war, not only here in the Philippines, but globally. Because some guy in my comments in the video yesterday, he says, the sky's not falling. He said, I fought in the real war, Vietnam, and that's not a real war. Well, guys, you know, Americans, we can't be that stupid, but I guess we are. I guess you can talk to the people who've been blown to smithereens, guy. Okay, because the United States hasn't won a war since World War II, and we did that with our allies. We haven't learned a lesson yet. I got so much pushback on that video, which I was just sharing my perspective. We all have an opinion, that I got to say this right here. I wrote it down to make sure I don't get it wrong, but two things can be correct at the same time. Number one, you can despise the Iranian theocracy and their desire to get nuclear weapons and whatever that would mean for the region over there or the world. And number two, you can condemn the murder of innocent women and children and babies by Israel and America. According to UNICEF, 20 schools, 10 hospitals have been targeted so far and destroyed. Almost 2/3 of the casualties of the people killed have been women, 30% children. It was a U.S. Tomahawk missile that struck that school and killed all those little bitty girls, Iranian girls over there, despite what Trump said. He said, it was Iranian missiles. Their munitions are so, terrible, right? No, guy, it was you. Y'all did that. Two things can be correct at the same time. This is a war we cannot win. We're fighting against one of only 3 countries where the people will fight to the death. Japan and Vietnam being the other 2. So, 2 things can be correct. You can speak out against this old illegal war without wanting the United States to lose. Why would I hate my own country? Why would I want the United States to lose? I'm against war, period. But it's deeper than that. We're talking about the global economy, man. It's deeper than that. I'm thinking it's depopulation because there's so many conflicts going on, man. I was shocked, okay, because I don't just believe what people say. I research it myself. But Bernie Sanders said that there was 500,000 that had died in the Ukraine and Russia war. Since 2022, I was like, yeah, right, Bernie, you making this shit up. I looked it up, man. Over 500,000 have died, guys. We don't care, though. 500,000 people wiped off the face of the earth for what? Okay? Over 1 million wounded. This is crazy, guys. It's bigger than oil and all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Hey, he said, I take heed to your advice, but I'm still coming in September. Well, see, I'm not telling people not to come to the Philippines. That's another thing. But see, I'm tired of explaining my videos to people if it goes over your head. I was talking about sell every goddamn thing and leave if you're miserable. The marriage, the job, the country. I wasn't saying don't come over here specifically or to come over here specifically. Okay? That's all I'm saying. What's up, Jews? Your homeboy just left. Yeah. But I don't have to believe the lies. And you get frustrated when you lie to over and over and over again. Oh, we're going to liberate the Iranian people. Oh, yeah, by killing them? By killing babies and women and children? But we want to talk about how it's going to have the effect on the Philippines. But really, your gas prices have gone up too. They've gone way up. I checked it out before this war started, because it's war, dude. Whoever you were talking, whoever said that, if you want your 15 minutes of fame, come on here and I'll give it to you. It's a war, no matter what you call it. The price for a barrel of oil was $69.40. Now it's $119. It may have went down by the time this live stream started. So that type of jump, that type of spike is going to have an impact. Hey, Yasharala Asa Israel, thanks for that super chat. He said in Somalia, Rangers and Delta Force, in I think 2003, the U.S. got their butt whipped. Muslim countries don't play. Well, Iran is one of the countries that the people will fight to their death. You're not just going to go in there and drop a few bombs. Look, guys, do some research for yourself. Don't you realize that these monsters, is what I call them, Israel and the United States, I don't have to agree with their tactics. Don't you know that they're contemplating using tactical nuclear weapons to get rid of the storage of uranium that's in those mountains over there? They said it's the only way they can get to them. Now imagine the hypocrisy of that. You're going over there, you're going to use tactical nuclear weapons, which is just going to be crazy. Drop from an American plane. Haven't done that since Hiroshima and Nagasaki. To try to stop a country from acquiring nuclear weapons. You guys better wake up. He said, Cal, I think your guy may have been referring to the official terms. Well, we're not talking about official nothing. We don't care what Congress is saying. They're all lying. It's a war. Ask the people that are boots on the ground over there, Kamal. I don't care what he's talking about. That's war over there. I mean, what the hell do y'all call it? Ain't no damn conflict. Bullshit. Well, it don't matter. What do you mean it went down? It was 69, dude, before it started. That's temporary. Let this shit keep going. It'll hit 200. Okay? But I'm not on here today to argue with you guys. War is war. There are no winners. It doesn't matter what side you're on. You're going to lose. I'm a winner. Okay? I don't deal with losers. So if y'all want to keep playing those semantics and games and all of that, go ahead. But I'm going to tell you something that I said on my video yesterday, because y'all think I can think for myself. I don't need somebody pulling me around by my nose. Here's what I said. I said it's going to be like COVID. The Philippines will never go back to the same. It's going to be like COVID. The prices never came back to normal. Here's what this guy, his name is a Filipino, Danny Carranza. He's the head of this national peasant group over here that monitors small farmers, small fishermen, small businesses, among other things. He said the effect of oil, spiking oil prices on the Philippines, he said, it will be like the COVID-19 pandemic without the lockdown. Okay? That's what he said. He said more days of hunger may become inevitable for the poorest Filipinos if food prices continue to rise. See, a lot of this stuff, you're not even going to see it immediately. It's going to have a lagged effect on rent, on real estate. Anybody that's thinking about building a house over here, you waited too late. You waited too late. Construction costs are going to go up. Labor costs are going to go up. Building materials are going to go up. You waited too late. That's what happens when you procrastinate. Everything's getting ready to skyrocket, man. It's only the gasoline that has an immediate effect. They're already investigating 54 gas stations up in Manila that jumped the prices up before today. It's supposed to went into effect today. He said the White House insiders making a killing on the stock market. They know when to buy and sell based on Orange Hitler's dementia-fueled plans. Absolutely. You know, I just like to talk about, because y'all want to talk about it. It's interesting. It's a conversation because nobody else is going to talk about it. It's some boring ass channels over here, man. You know, right now is not the time to be talking about relationships. If you want a relationship, that's the last thing you got to worry about over here. If you don't hear nothing else I say on this live stream today, a woman is the last thing, or a relationship is the last thing you should be worrying about. Some guy said, he messaged me, he said, do I know any women who want to chat? I said, dude, I'm not a matchmaker, but I can tell you this. That's your least of your worries. But y'all want to be told over and over, reassured over and over and over, okay, that you can get a woman. When your cost of living is going to skyrocket pretty soon. Rent's going up. Electricity's going up. Food. Everything. And it's never coming back down. Okay? I'm sorry. And the longer this goes on, the higher and the more people are going to suffer over here. Okay? I'm just telling you. But y'all don't believe shit stinks. It's happening in America already. It's a partial government shutdown, and we fighting wars. We spending $1 billion a day. I'm not a fear monger. You want your 15 minutes of fame. You know, you tough guys sitting behind those computers, say it to my face, man. You know where I am. Don't talk all that stuff, positive vibes. Okay? Yeah, because it's a lie. It's going to have a lagging effect, ignorant ass fool. Now, stupid fucker. He says, why do people want a woman so badly anyway? Be comfortable in your own skin. Because they weak. They like this guy. That's all they think about. It's somebody else's life instead of their own life. He said, the gas station in my area raised the cost of V-Power from 63 to 70 in one day ahead of today. Yeah, okay. Now, according to the government, they're going to do staggered price increases weekly. So this week, Shell is going to raise its gas prices 8.75 pesos. I think 5 today, 1 point something tomorrow, then 1 point something Thursday, right? But this is the week. Man, right down the street here, and you can ask Norton, who was over my house. We came back from eating last night. They took us out to dinner before they left. The diesel was already 82, man. If you driving a diesel, man, you in trouble because All of them, okay, the diesel's going up 24 pesos this week. Just this week. What's up, 53 Shades Dark? He said, yeah, I'm back. I'm going to have to come through there, man, and eat at that, what's the name of that new restaurant that opened up across from you? He said, Unc, on a lighter note, it can be the 91 war, 95 and Somalia war, '03 war, and brothers will still pay the cost to get to the Philippines and beyond to support. The tune-up is unbeaten. Yeah, you're right about that. Okay, but we're just saying that if you planned on doing anything over here, man, it's going to cost you more now. You're going to have to give your girlfriend more, your long distance relationship more, because the prices are going to go up. Imagine if somebody's earning $400, $500, $600. I was being generous. They don't earn that kind of money here unless you're a skilled worker in San Carlos City. And some people who have their own businesses, these vendors and stuff like that, they probably ain't even earning $500 or $600 per day. And then you're going to jump up fuel 40% like that? The jeepney drivers, they already complaining. They're losing 400 to 500 pesos a day, and they can't raise the fare without approval of the government, but it's coming. But here's the thing that I know from living over here. People are going to raise prices on us anyway. When you go to the market today, it's going to be higher. If not today, by the end of the week, certainly. Everything's going to be more. Hey, Lawrence, thanks for that super sticker. He said, Calvin, does this mean the U.S. dollar becomes more valuable and we become more sought after? No, it just means you're going to pay more. Okay, it's going up. Is it going up enough to keep up with the inflation that's soaring over here? Okay, what? It's 59.11 now. Is that going to keep going up to stay with inflation? And it's like a double whammy over here. The economy was slowing to begin with. The Philippines is growing at a pace of like 6%, right? And then all of a sudden, from January and February, it dipped to 4.2%. Now you've got this war over there in Iran, in the Middle East, really, because Iran is saying, everybody's going to have to pay. I mean, they're begging Trump and them to de-escalate the war, guys. They're doing it. You see the president of Bahrain just packed up and left. He left his country there. He saw the writing on the wall. So they're getting regime change, but not the regime change that they want. It's really bad, man. But people are so blind. They're just blindly following these people, man. Bernie Sanders put those numbers up there. He was lacking on Israel. He claimed 72,000 in Gaza. Netanyahu's responsible for 72,000. Bullshit. It's more than that. What about in Lebanon, in Syria, everywhere else? These warmongers are fighting, man. You can condemn that without wanting Iran to win? Man, these people, this is depopulation. Now the United States, they done kill. When I went on air today, they're talking about 1,700 have been killed. That's if you believe this old bullshit media. It's far more than that. They're trying to decimate an ancient civilization. This is how evil people are, man. These are devils. Okay, for nothing. You can't win that war over there. And then you got nuclear weapons on the damn table, tactical nuclear weapons. You know what that's going to do, man? Because the smoke and the fumes from all of that, it's not going to just stay in Iran. Thousands of people are going to be killed. But you got Pete Hegseth. These guys, man, are wimps, man. He's a propagandist. That's why he reads everything. These are tough guys, man. They're so insecure, man. But if you say the obvious, What do Trump have in common with Netanyahu, with Putin? With even Zelensky, throw his ass in there. They're white men destroying the fucking planet right now, and they got your ass afraid to use plastic bags. They're blowing up whole oil refineries over there. They're poisoning the water and everything, guys. But y'all care. Y'all don't care. I don't talk about it, Cal. Oh, you hate America. No, I don't. I hate war. Okay? I'm sorry. He says, I'm headed back to work next week. Diesel's already about $6 in some states. Man. But you got to realize, okay, now you imagine you're in America, the land of opportunity. Imagine being over here in the Philippines. You're a jeepney driver. You're charging 12 pesos for fare. And just right up here in St. Carlos City, it's 82 pesos per liter. Okay? So add that up and see what that would come up to in dollars. Okay? Yeah, that Gordon Ramsay fish and chips, man. They did a lot here since I left. Shopping areas, new bar, clothes, stores, restaurants, expo about to open, and yes, the price of a condo is higher. Everything is higher. And if it doesn't hit you right now, it eventually is going to hit you. Everything. Cars, clothes. Because they're going to pass on that increase to the customers. They don't have any choice. Okay? And the reason is that that's going to affect the Philippines more than it affects a lot of other countries is because the Philippines imports more than 90% of its fuel. Not from the Middle East, but from China, South Korea, Singapore, and Japan, who get a great majority of their oil from the Middle East. So yeah, the Philippines is going to suffer worse than anybody else over in this region. You know. And of course, it's going to push up inflation, man. He says, I'm so deep in the corporate rat race. If I didn't have Southeast Asia, I'd have crashed out by now. Hey, man, I tell you. And guys miss that. I'm saying, okay, like I did on the last live stream. Take a break. Just take a damn break. Use up some of that 2 weeks vacation they give your stupid ass over there. We're nothing but slaves over there. Okay? We're nothing but slaves over there. Scared to move. Anything the administration tells you, that mainstream media tells you, you believe it. You wanted me to believe that all this fighting, there's only 8 American soldiers that have died. What about the injured? They don't care. And then this fool wears a white cap when they come back. And not only that, he didn't even take the cap off. Fox News tried to hide it. They're running old footage showing another casket being brought back. Man, they're trying to cover up this stuff. Okay, and guess what? Now, of course, he comes there with Air Force One and then just a convoy of limos. And guess what? These brave men and women who gave their lives for this bullshit, he sent them in Amazon vans. Man, people are crazy. People are crazy. Y'all couldn't be that blind. He says, I just heard a guy today saying he's getting out of the trucking business. He said he's not dealing with the fuel hikes anymore like he did in COVID. It will be like the COVID-19 pandemic without the lockdown. But I said that yesterday. This guy said it today in the Philippines. He's the Secretary General. He's over top of this organization. It's getting ready to spiral out of control unless they de-escalate it today. Okay, the guy said oil went down to 94. No, it went up. It was 69, you fool. Like, what is wrong with y'all? This is anybody's uh has anybody's portfolio been affected by the crash? South Korea's stock market is down 23%. We were flying high just a couple of weeks ago on February 5th when the Dow hit 50,000 for the first time ever. Guess what? It's already lost 4,000. It's down to 46. The NASDAQ lost 1.3 trillion in one day. It's going to go up. It was, okay, I'm not going to lie to you, Vacillate. It was, when I first was getting ready to cut this computer on, it was 58.81. So I said, well, let me check it real quick before I go live. 59.11. Now you say it's 59.50. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. But he's so nonchalant about it. He acts like, oh, this is a guy who ran from the draft 5 times. Now, people dying don't mean nothing to him. He just says it all nonchalantly. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. I won't talk to you about it. Like food is affecting the whole nation. Yeah, keyboard gangster. These guys are so tough. Miserable. I'm not the one that's causing unemployment to go out off the charts. Your portfolio fucked up, and people lying talking about everybody's 401k is booming. You're lying. That's what makes me mad. The lies, man, over and over and over, like we're stupid. And a lot of you guys are so miserable, you're so angry, you're so hateful that you go along with that stuff. Well, get out of my way. I don't want to fool with you. Okay? Long lines at the pump over here reminds me of 1975 when I was a little boy. They better de-escalate this shit and do it quick before oil hits $200 a barrel, and then you're not even going to be able to afford, very few of us are going to even be able to afford to buy gasoline. But guess what? The elite, the handful of elite that really run the world, man, it's only a handful of people. It's bigger than that. They don't care that the stock market crashed. They got billions and billions of dollars. They got power and everything. The Epstein class, they call them. They don't care. Because it's bigger than that. Your life don't mean shit to them. They depopulating this planet. They're saying there's too many people on the planet right now for them to live comfortably. So they start these old bullshit wars. All of them, man. It's not just Netanyahu. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these mega guys, they went into hiding. Okay, they're not saying anything. They better not get on my channel talking shit, man. You're following a follower. Trump has a boss, and it's Netanyahu. So you're following a follower. Mega never stood for anything anyway. Talking about open up the Epstein files. Now they're doing everything to cover it up. And the Democrats don't get away with it. Because I'm sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, well, why didn't the Democrats use the Epstein files against Trump? Because they're all in it too. They're in cahoots, guys. We don't have an opposition party in America. Okay? But y'all don't see it. So y'all waiting for the midterms. Y'all just, chomping at the bit. For what? The Democrats aren't going to do anything. They're not going to stop this war. They're not going to stop Trump. Man, y'all better learn to read for yourself. He said, hey, Cal, Trump and the MAGAs have really screwed up this entire world. It's all about racism. Hope to get there soon. If we can afford the flight by then, take care, please. Yeah, that's all it is. They've justified, destroying another brown country. Okay? They don't understand that the only way that you can fend off these monsters, is what I call them, they're devils, man, is to have a nuclear weapon. That's why Iran wanted one. Saddam didn't have one. Guess what happened to him? He's dead. Gaddafi gave his up. Guess what happened to him? He's dead. But they don't fuck with North Korea because they got the nukes. Okay? Y'all know what this is all about, man. It's the only reason why they doing that. Meanwhile, Israel, you don't know how many nuclear warheads they've got because they won't let the inspectors in. They're the only ones that aren't even a part of the non-proliferation agreement. Make that make sense to me. Okay? They only want to destroy Iran because that's the last credible threat to them. Well, guess what? Those people aren't going anywhere. They've been here for thousands of years. America's just getting ready to celebrate 250 years. Y'all better go sit down somewhere. Believe in these old white elite men. They're going to lead us all to slaughter, man. They're going to say, Cal, you're racist. No, I'm not. This is a fact. Pete Hegseth is white. All of Trump's cabinet is white, by the way. And even Marco Rubio, he's pretending to be white. So don't give me that shit, man, about racism. It's bigger than that. They don't give a shit about white folks. Hey, Raw Digital, he said, Cal, you always say it straight about who the real terrorists are. United States government rogue thugs. I started learning about this years ago, and the corruption and evil is beyond our imagination. It's unbelievable that they do it right in your face. You know, you got a guy there who already said he's a sexual predator. I just walk up to him and grab him by the pussy. He said that. They got him on record saying that. It's on audio, guys. Nothing. They still elect this fool. He's a convicted felon. They still elect him because it doesn't matter to the elites. How in the world could he win? Everybody knows he's all in those files, man. But nothing's going to happen. But they're going to say you got Trump derangement syndrome. Damn right. I'm like that old devil James Carville, because he's a devil too, but I got to agree with him. He said, yeah, I got it. And I got it bad. Me too. Thank you. Say this, Cisco. He said the really scary part is these people praying and working for Armageddon. We've got government officials talking about a holy war. And Trump has been, chosen by God to light the torch for Armageddon against the war in the Middle East. You people are crazy. But yet you're going to talk about the theocracy in Iran and the religious fanatics they're supposed to have over there. Oh, man. Has he ever served? Absolutely not. You know it. You know he ain't served shit. But see, Pete Hegseth has served, I believe. That don't mean nothing. He's not a tough guy like he says he is. Talking about death and destruction raining from the sky. They don't care, guys. They don't care that little babies is getting killed. And then they're gonna lie to you to your face and say, oh, it was Iran that did that. Bullshit. That was a U.S. Tomahawk missile. The U.S. is the only one that possessed Tomahawk missiles. You did that, Trump. You killed all them little girls, and I can condemn that, and at the same time condemn what Iran is doing. Without hating America, without wanting America to lose, we're going to lose. We haven't won a war since World War II. We were ran out of the Korean War. They called it a stalemate. We got our asses kicked in Vietnam. We got our asses kicked in Iraq. in Afghanistan. So what makes you think we're going to win this war? Oh, you mega punks out there? Y'all just going along because you're ignorant. You're unhappy. You're hateful. And you're racist. That's the only reason you're going along with this shit. And you don't want to admit you're wrong. You were wrong about Trump. Okay? Hey, Mr. Ray, thanks for that super chat. He said the bullshit is obvious, but folks will defend him to the end. It's called a cult for a reason. Okay? It's called a cult. Y'all better not let them clowns come on this live stream, man. We're going to eat you up. So come on here with that bullshit. You're going to get cut to shreds today because we don't want to hear it. Two things can be correct at the same time. We can condemn that bullshit that's going on over there. We got our young men and women. One woman was getting ready to get out. This was her last mission. She said, I miss, the time with my children. Dead. It ain't gonna matter. Voting does not matter anymore. Because whoever you put in there, they're gonna do the same thing. We're done over there, guys. And that's the truth, see, because people don't want the truth because it shatters your reality. You think all I got to do is replace them with the Democrats. Man, look, Joe Biden had those Epstein files for 4 years, man. Imagine, why didn't Kamala Harris use the Epstein files against Trump? Has anybody ever thought that to themselves? They could have beat Trump. All you had to do is release all that stuff. Fuckers is crazy. It's TDS, not DTS. Whatever it is. Yeah, I got it. I got it bad. Yeah, the Tomahawk. U.S. is the only one got that. But Trump lied to y'all face. I'm American. Like I said, two things can be true at the same time. Vlogging traveler. Talking about I'm not racist. I'm not MAGA. Okay, so you are okay with them bombing that school over there. Is that what you're saying, Vlogging Traveler? We don't see a picture on your profile because you're a coward. Okay, so tell me you're okay with that. With them, but see, the media is in cahoots because what they're doing is they're censoring the coverage. They're not telling you. UNICEF came out and said they bombed 20 schools, 10 hospitals. These are civilian targets. These are people. And then they're doing double taps. When the rescuers come, they bomb it again. Vlogging Traveler. Okay. Two things can be correct at the same time, but not with you and a bunch of you stupid fools. Okay, Hack Silver. Is it DTS or TDS? Which one is it? Okay? Because I've got it bad. Plus this fool Trump is already almost 80 and don't give a shit. Yeah, he lives 97% of his life. What's wrong with these people? They would take us all out. Before the American system, I told y'all this years ago. Before the American system goes down, the dollar goes down, they'll destroy the whole world. Okay, I'm not okay with it. Doesn't mean I don't, that I hate America. I'm not American. Kiss my ass, man. Yeah, it blows my man too. He said that it almost blows my man that these things still need to be explained about the corruption in the U.S. to anyone. Did you see the Kristi Noem? Did you see that $220 million ad campaign? It all went through her boyfriend's hands. They gave a $143 million contract to a company, has no website, has no phone number. It only been in existence 8 days when it got the contract. Man, who doesn't like America? But y'all gonna worry about somebody who get $16 more on their food stamps every month. You're going to turn them in. Tragic. Yeah, killed for nothing. But they're going to defend Trump because it's a cult. He said, please behave, guys, or the admin will kick you out. Let's be respectful. Yeah, thank you, man. He said, the people in the Bible didn't run from being locked up. They made Trump president so he won't get locked up. Well, the thing about it is, he lied. They all lied. Okay, and we're tired of the lies. He said, what's up, Cal? Don't let people drag you down to politics. I want to hear more about the Philippines and not politics. We live it every day over here in America. Yeah, I've been talking about it because y'all talking about it. Y'all want to talk about it. I got a whole bunch of stuff over here that I'm going to talk about. This is just the first few minutes of the live stream. Y'all know I go in for 2 hours over here. But nobody answered my question. Is anybody feeling the effects of the market crash? That's all. He said, it's absolutely a cult. I don't see how people can be so blind. He said, by the way, where is Michael B. Shalai lately? I don't know. You know, maybe he just got tired of being a moderator. He said, it's not a cult, Cal. He promised us no new wars, and his first term was mostly peaceful. Many of us are extremely disappointed right now. Well, you ought to be, but you're not doing anything about it. You keep believing his lies, Fred. The United States killed those girls over there. Why won't they come out and apologize and tell you the truth? This is all I'm saying. He said, my portfolio went down a ton, but it's fine. I get my monthly distributions. The market recovers. Yeah, it will. No, they're not doing anything to my blood pressure. This is my passion, man. Don't trust me, guys. I'm in the best shape of my life. I promise you I am. These guys are strangers. I never meet them. I never see them. I like to just go back and forth with some of them to show you their ignorance. See, they don't like facts. Cults run from facts. There was a U.S. Tomahawk missile that destroyed that school and killed all those little girls. Now put that in your pipe and smoke it. When are y'all going to come out, MAGA, and apologize for that? You condone stuff like that. You got all these tough guy leaders. Pete Hegseth up there reading, right out of propaganda, Hitler 101. He said, yeah, you're not responsible for educating the world. Thank you. You're right. They're all crooks and liars. Both sides are in the files. That's why nothing's being done. That's right. You would think to yourself, a reasonable, rational thinking person would say, Biden sat on those files for all those years. Why is it such a big deal now? Why didn't Kamala Harris say, look, give me them files so I can become the president? We'd still be in Iran. It wouldn't have mattered. He says, I'm feeling it. I lost the grip yesterday. He said, I bought a full tank of gas yesterday in Mindanao for 61.4 pesos per liter. Well, you got a deal. They already done flipped the prices here. We were riding back yesterday from the restaurant. It's already 65 here. I don't know what's going on. Maryland, how much did you pay for that gasoline yesterday? 63?
Yeah.
It's already up there. I said, you got a deal, Maryland. It's 65 now. But it's not supposed to be that high. But I got a secret for you. They're going to do whatever they want to do here. Okay? If you guys were even thinking about building a house, now, my real estate just went up. Okay? Anybody that owns real estate over here, it just went up. He said, yes, today, several guys I know had to move money around in the market. Is that what you're saying? You know, a lot of people don't feel the effects of the stock market crash because we don't have any stocks. Okay? That's why this guy's saying this. He's telling the truth. You know, most of us, you know, that's when they start talking about, oh, the stock market is booming under Trump. Well, it doesn't affect the majority of you poor ass Appalachian fools. Okay? Because you don't have any stocks. That's just something for you to brag about. You don't have a pot to piss in. But you want to brag about what the stock market's up there. Or it's crashing the other side. And they don't own not one stock. He said they're not racist, but they support racist acts of war. Yeah, that make sense to me. Okay, here's the thing, though. The president of Bahrain packed up and left. He's in Saudi Arabia right now. Okay. You know, one of the biggest U.S. bases in the region is in Bahrain, the Fifth Fleet. They just left it. Now they're surrounded by enemy forces over there. Thousands of Americans are stranded in the Middle East, guys. Trump is lying. Talking about we're quietly bringing them back. No, you're not. You're lying, dude. But y'all believe the lies. I posted just a couple on my community page yesterday. Okay, but it says these prices are going to significantly affect the small farmers, the fishermen, the small businesses, and they're going to pass those costs on to the consumer. So you're going to see vegetables, which are already high over here, go up. Fish go up. Rice go up. And you got to understand, man, rice is not, it's a daily necessity over here. It's not like something that, well, what would I want to call it? It's not like, you know, they got a choice. That's the meal of life over here. And just for the ordinary Filipino, man, you might as well drop a bomb. Because that's what you've done. So yeah, they're over there protesting at the U.S. Embassy. And the U.S. Embassy, if you're part of STEP, they sent you out an email telling you to steer clear of the U.S. Embassy because of protests going on. But if you're not in the STEP, sign up for it. Okay? Because they're saying, you know, stop, de-escalate this. You're going to starve people who have nothing to do with the policy. Who knows when the war will end? It will only get worse the longer it goes on. Because they don't care. The elites don't care. They got their money, man. They want you to die. They want you to suffer. Because they said it's too many human beings on the planet right now for their comfort. Y'all think I'm talking crazy. I'm not talking crazy. In the Ukraine versus Russia war, over 500,000 guys have been killed. Let that marinate. Since 2022. That's crazy. We should be in the streets worldwide marching and protesting against that type of stuff. How many died in Iraq, Afghanistan, all these other conflicts we've been in? But I said people will find a way to increase prices for everything over here. They're going to do it. So I'm just letting you know. He said food at Sam's Club used to be like $300 a few months ago. Now it's close to $500 a month on food now. It's called inflation. It's going to go up higher. A lot of this stuff, you're going to say, Cal don't know what he's talking about because the price hasn't changed. It's going to have a lag effect, guys. Okay? You're going to look up and your rent's going to go up. He said, Cal, do you recommend that I shouldn't come in the end of June and just do it anyway? I would say come, man. You know, if you can afford the prices back then. You know, we can't tell the future. Daily dose of Drix. But if things continue to go the way they're going right now, man, the prices are going to be so high then. I don't discourage anybody from traveling, but is it going to be safe? Is the air going to be safe? Are Americans going to be safe? Okay, you see all the bomb threats in these airports over in America. That's all I'm saying. You know, when I made the video yesterday and the day before, I said, sell every goddamn thing and get out of there. I'm talking about if you're truly unhappy. If you're really miserable, nothing should be off the table. Nothing should be off the table. But it doesn't mean just sell everything and move to the Philippines. Hell, move to another state. Change jobs. File for divorce. Okay? Stop going to church. Whatever it is that's not working for you is what I was saying. And then yesterday, I'm saying now's not a good time to come here because the prices are getting ready to shoot up. But I'm not telling you don't do it. I was telling you the facts. It's getting ready to blow over here. Inflation is getting ready to skyrocket. The prices of everything are going to skyrocket. And they're never coming back to the same, to normal again. Okay? That's all I'm saying. He said Trump never admits his faults, but we all know that already, always blaming others. Yeah. He's a narcissist. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's an elephant in the room, Big Jeff, but they say you're wrong for talking about it. It's affecting your life, man. Go to the gas pump. They're saying pretty soon gas is going to be $5 a gallon in America for everybody. I guess then that's when you're going to say, when they do this false flag attack over there, another 9/11. Okay? What's going to convince you that this is an illegal war and nobody wins? We're all losers. Yeah, it shatters their reality. He said 360 for 87 octane is nuts. Yeah, that's all it is, a have and have nots. That's all it is. You know, they're going to, until they start sending people to jail, the corruption is out of control. See, if I'm one of these leaders over here, these Gulf leaders over here, that's been just showering Trump and his family with all those billions of dollars, I want my money back. Because now they're realizing that Trump can't protect them, and they're not going to protect them. They don't give a damn. You got food. He said, I was told rice prices will reach upwards of 2,000 pesos per sack by the first week of April. And they're not lying to you. If this war sustains, if they keep on going, if they don't de-escalate it, because Trump is saying he wants the unconditional surrender of Iran, not telling the people the truth that the United States has been working through intermediaries asking for a ceasefire with Iran because they run out of interceptors. They want to go back, refuel, and come back and start again. Iran is like, no. Nope. But Trump is telling you that we're really winning the war over there. It's not true, guys. And this is another thing they're trying to do. They went to China, the U.S. did. The China was like, get the fuck out of here. To tell them to stop buying oil from Iran. Here we are fighting another endless war again. That we can't win. He said Iran was only selling oil to China. The rest of the world was getting their oil from Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Canada. So no one is really affected but China. Bullshit. What's wrong with you? Are you crazy? Oil production has stopped over there, Josh. Would you pick up one of them raggedy ass newspapers over there? Turn on one of them old bullshit stations? At least they're telling you that. They're not hiding that. The Strait of Hormuz has been closed. Come on, man. You can't be that stupid. Hey, that's Beach of Life. They was asking about you. He said, I'm just still listening. Just grilling some $20 a pound ribeye steaks. Yeah, he knows that's a lie. But maybe he doesn't know it's a lie. Because I tell you something, man. Either Americans don't want to hear the truth or we some stupid ass people. Yeah, it is. He said, Cash just said America's priority is to protect Israel. Mike Huckabee and Ted Cruz said it when Trump got elected. Well, and that damn flaming homosexual Lindsey Graham. Talking about a holy war, and he's aiding and abetting an enemy, man. Okay, he says only fools are drinking a mega Trump Kool-Aid. No, it's poison. Okay. All right. Hey, carry on. Thanks for that super chat. He says they are lining their pockets with our blood. Thank you. Thank you. Imagine this cocksucker. They're bringing back the dead soldiers. Okay, who given their lives for this bullshit. He's sitting there with a white hat on. Make America great again, I guess is what. That's the only hats he wears. Did not take it off. He comes in, of course, in Air Force One and then a convoy of limousines and sends them away in Amazon vans. Nobody say anything about that. Okay, I'm sorry. He said, come on, Cal. What's up, Rich? You mean to tell me our government is lying to us about this war? Well, you know, you don't have to convince me. I'm just talking to these guys who claim that, you know, everything that they're hearing and reading is true. He said, no way they would ever do that. They've never done that before. Bullshit, I'm changing the channel now. Yeah. He said, good morning, Cal Sunshine Shoulders crew. He said, people need to stand on what they think they know, but rarely question what they don't know. Cult members don't know they're in a cult. Well, that's all it is. Okay? But they said, this is all stuff from the experts over here. They said, increased transport costs for building materials, they said can raise construction costs. No, it will. I guarantee you, if you go and talk to an engineer today about building you a house, he's going to give you a different price versus if you'd have talked to him before the war. See, once they start building, you know, you can't change the price. Okay? But now, it's going to cost you guys. It says, given the Philippines' high dependence on imported oil, sustained high oil prices, especially if they drive the peso lower, which is what it's doing, are expected to contribute to higher cost of living across the board. I told y'all that yesterday. That's all I'm doing. Well, we're just saying that you can, two things can be correct at the same time. That's all. I don't know what you're waiting on. What are you waiting on? Because you're afraid. You're afraid to think for yourself. There is no winners before you agree with either side. I don't agree with either side. It's okay to do that. Like, wow. This is what I'm talking about, guys. You know he's mega for even saying something like that. You know, y'all don't realize something, man, but if you just dig a little deeper, you'll see that we had a good plan with Iran in place. Trump tore it up, man, because he's following the dictates of a foreign country. They got something on Trump. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, what's the big deal about that? Okay, he needs to be impeached. It's all propaganda and lies. Imagine that they're going to say that Iran shot that school down. I mean, Trump said it out his own mouth. Go on YouTube or anywhere and pull that up when they asked him about that. And then Pete Hegseth, you see him back there panicking. Oh, well, he wouldn't say it. He wouldn't go that far. He said, oh, yeah, we're still investigating. Well, the investigation is over. It was a U.S. Tomahawk missile that did that. Yeah. We're the only ones. By a large degree, we already knew who he is. When you show us who you are, we believe you. It was about 50-50 Latinos, about 50-50 white men, about 50-50 white women. Black people overwhelmingly voted against Trump. Man. We already know. We got a lot of Zionists in America. Our government is being run by Zionists right now. No, it didn't change. Man, come on, guys. You got to be stupid. Don't come on here with that. I'm going to get rid of you. That's misinformation. They stole that land and been killing those people over there for decades. Fuck out of here with that misinformation. Come back on here. I'm getting rid of you. We're not going to tolerate misinformation. You know, good and damn well, that shit's been going on. Imagine if somebody got their foot on my neck, got me caged up, beating me, killing me, raping my wife and children, and then you think I'm not going to retaliate? Fuck out of here. But two things can be correct at the same time. You can condemn that and condemn the genocide that Israel's doing. Do that, Silver Monkey. Get off here with that stuff. You know, some guy says, oh, my video yesterday is the sky is falling. No, it's not. He said, oh, the sky's not falling. This is simply the real-time consequences of the war against Iran. That's what's happening. It is no, oh, the sky is falling. Don't panic, he says. I've been in a real war before. I fought in Vietnam. And you got your ass kicked. Okay, I'm sorry to say that. We lost that war. Okay? We didn't learn a lesson from that. Because it's not about learning lessons. We haven't won a war since World War II. I'll say it again. Before the war started, oil was $69 a barrel. And some guy says, oh, it went down to 94. See, this is what you deal with. How can it go down to 94, you clown? Pitiful, man. You know, when you think about this stuff, how crazy is it? These wars that these elites start, that they're not going to fight, the family's not going to fight, okay? They're going to call on us to fight. It's just a depopulation technique. Yeah, we haven't lost. I mean, we haven't won a war since World War II, and, you know, it was with our allies. Okay? Yeah, we give most of the credit. Thank you. Well, thank you for, you know, I'm just telling you that we're not good at war. That's all I'm saying. If you can't agree with that, then, you know, you're still drinking a poison. No one wins a war, really. You got 500,000 dead in the Ukraine and Russia, man. Like, as precious as life is, guys, would you want to be that casualty like that? Okay? If somebody invades America right now, sign me up. I'm over there. I'm on the first plane smoking back to the United States, defending our country. But we don't know what it's really like because no one's invaded our land. We fought, the only war that's been fought on American soil was our war, the Civil War. But we don't know what it's like to hunker down in a bunker somewhere, a bomb shelter, you know, and then running in and out. You go to the store, the sirens come off, you got to run home. You're driving in the car, you got to pull over and do all that. So we talk about it nonchalantly like it's no big deal. War is nothing. The guy said it's not a war. I know what a real war is. I've been in it. Well, talk to the people who are on the ground, who are being killed. He said, 9 days. What's up, TJ? And I'm out of here. Keep it together. I'd be afraid. I'd be scared to death to fly right now. Well, somebody said this today. He didn't say this. A friend of mine, Jason, he said the Philippines will be fine no matter what. The people are resilient. Well, he said, you know, this is his words, not mine. Let me read them because I don't want y'all to think I said this. He said this.
Daddy,
What?
Can I give a gift to my classmates from
From what?
for the graduation?
Of course. Okay. Here's what he says. This guy, Jason. I won't say his last name. Now, this guy knows what he's talking about, too. He's not some dummy. He said, your video about the war's effects are interesting. He said, I might say that in total, I'd rather be here, talking about the Philippines, than in the U.S. The people here are used to being poor. In the U.S., cities are going to be disastrous. This is going to be a worldwide reset, like the Great Depression. He said millions will die. He's right, because 500,000 have already died in Ukraine and Russia. Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm talking about. We wasn't born in 1812. Hell, imagine the Civil War was after that. You know, I mean, if you really want to be technical, and even ain't no bombs being dropped, other than, you know, if you want to, you know, Pearl Harbor and all that stuff, but you know what I'm saying. And that was a terror. If you talk to anybody that's still alive that went through that, I'm saying nowadays we haven't went through anything like that. We talk nonchalantly about war. They wasn't talking nonchalantly about war back then Richie Rich because it was on their radar. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's going to make things worse. You know, so he can make up excuses all he wants. He's going to be sending more money over here to his wife. He ain't going to have a choice. Okay, the price of love just went up over here. The price of LDR just went up over here, along with everything else. So just know that. Okay? So just know that. Hey, what's up? Thanks for that super check, Q. He said, I wonder if we lose the war, how would this affect the dating scene abroad? I don't think the women will be as excited. It ain't gonna matter. There is no winners in war, Q. Remember, the Vietnam win, I would say they did. If you go over there, it's Ho Chi Minh City now. It's not Saigon. They rose from the ashes. Okay? But nobody really wins a war, man. At what price? You know, all them people that got killed over there. And then YouTube had the nerve to not to demonetize that video. I'm like, that's a whole museum over there. It's not like I was showing or saying anything that's not already facts. It's already history. You know, but they don't want the truth out there. They don't want you to see what war really looks like. That's what it really looks like, Q and Richie Rich. It's not some highlight reel. Those plumes of smoke, there's people cut in half and burned to a crisp under that stuff that they're not going to show you. And so, out of sight, out of mind. I showed you, okay, what happens in war. And that's just a smidgen. I do know Bill W. I'm getting ready to celebrate 28 years in May. I'm thankful for that program. He saved my life. Okay? I'll just say that. Because a lot of these people, they don't have a need to know. You know, anonymity is still very important to me, really. I talk about my triumph over drugs and alcohol, but I never talk about the program. Because, see, the program is much bigger than me. And people don't understand that. See, when you wear those chains and, you know, you walk around, you know, big book thumping and all that, and then you slip, and people are going to say, see, the program don't work. Well, yeah, it does work. But, yeah, I'm a friend of Bill and Bob. Yeah, YouTube was wrong for that. It's not like I was showing that. I mean, I was just taking pictures of what's on the wall. All that stuff's out there. But they don't want you to see what war really looks like. If we don't pull out now, Lord knows what's going to happen. You know, imagine a guy got in there and said, oh, don't panic, Cal, when gasoline is shooting up in his country, in America. I was just telling you what's going to happen over here, what's already happening. They started it today, but we already saw it. People are going to raise the prices whenever they want to over here. The ordinary Filipinos are going to suffer, man. But like Q said, they're resilient. They stick together. We don't stick together. That $1,000 a month budget just went out the window, guys, because everything's going up. It's going to eat at you. Can the dollar keep up with the inflation over here? I don't know. Yeah, but he says, wait, let me read this one first. He said Vietnam did a hell of a job bouncing back from the Vietnam War. Yeah, because they moved on. Have they fought anybody since? I think them and China had something in 1979, but I believe that's been it. They've been investing all their money into the infrastructure and their people. Manufacturing and all that. They're past the United States. We're the only ones that are standing still. I did see that we have a a high-speed rail in a certain part of the country that's supposed to be completed by 2028. So it just goes to show you that we're way behind. 2028? Hell, by that time, they might have a damn time machine. Yeah, he said 50 in October, man. Congratulations. Hell, you never did drink, did you? What's up, Philippines and Full of Facts? He said, I saw a Vietnamese man yesterday in the gym in Saigon yesterday with a large American flag on the front of it. They have really moved on, Cal. Yeah, we can't move on. You know, it's just, if you tell people the truth about Americans being isolated from the rest of the world, they don't want to hear it. They don't say, oh, he hates America. He hates America. No, I'm just telling you, you won't know it by living there. You got to get outside of there and look back and be like, racism, war, all this antiquated stuff that goes on over there. You know, we're so far behind. You know, ain't nobody on that racism stuff, man. We know that shit's phony, man. It's a lie. Y'all can't handle the truth. But they moved on, man. He said people in Vietnam and Laos still losing limbs, stepping on unexploded bombs from the 60s and 70s. Yeah, but for the most part, they moved on. And you can see it over there. Yeah, it's been crashed. It's been cracked. For anybody that really wants, you know, that's not afraid of being called unpatriotic. Look what happened on January 6th. They don't even talk about that. They want to act like that never did happen. Okay, they're hiding now. They stopped going after those people because Trump pardoned them all. That should show you something right there. Some of those guys he pardoned, they're doing life sentences now. He said that picture of the soldier carrying half a body was what war really looks like. Yeah. There wasn't no half a body. That was a damn spinal cord with the head still hanging on it. Everything else is gone. And you can tell the soldier was like, he's in post-traumatic stress disorder. He's in traumatic stress disorder, not post-traumatic stress disorder. He's right in the middle of it, man, because he's got a look on his face. Like, dude, get rid of that. Why would you be holding that? You know, you feel for these people over there. But most of the people, myself included, have never fought on the front line like that. We don't know what war really looks like. So we nonchalantly talk about it like it's a basketball game. Like my side is winning and your side is losing, and yay, you know, and all that. Man, y'all fools, man. Y'all crazy to think like that. He says it's not a good example, Richie Rich. That was just a continuation of the Declaration of Independence. But y'all know what I'm talking about. Nobody watching this. In America, as a matter of fact, when you were in America, it's had to deal with any of that stuff. People are terrified over in Dubai. Dubai crickets right now. They're giving away hotel rooms, man. They were advertising a luxury suite in one of those 5-star hotels for $9 a night. $9 a night. Crickets. Yeah, but it's not somebody else's battles. It's Israel's battles. Just say it. Don't be afraid to say that. It doesn't matter whether they're going to be Democrats or Republicans. We're going to keep doing it. Okay? They've infiltrated our government. We need a do-over. Some of us need to start running for government. You know, for office. You know, they're not doing anything. Chuck Schumer? Come on, guys. We didn't have no opposition party over there. He said, I didn't spill my drinks. Yeah, I congratulate you, though, man, because, man, when I got 30 days, I was so happy, okay? I'm just going to put it like that. You know, and I used to meet guys who had a year, 2 years. I couldn't believe it. No way. I thought my life was going to be over. It was going to be boring, you know, because I had related fun and the good life with drinking. I've never been happy. I've never had it so good. Remember, better than the best life I've ever known. I didn't even know life could be this good without drinking. Yeah, 2028. You said gas went up to 65 pesos per liter over here. Yeah, 65 here down the street. That's a lot, guys, by the way, for somebody who's earning 300, 400, 500 pesos a day. And then they're paid, they don't get paid every week. You know. So it doesn't matter how resilient they are. Yeah, you're right. This is my point, Rich. He says, easy to watch bombs fall on other people on TV. We haven't been through that terror in our lifetimes. Is this really going to make the world a safer place? Absolutely not. They claimed at first that they were going to liberate the Iranian people from the theocracy over there. Well, hell, they're killing and brutalizing them worse than the theocracy. Killing little kids over there. But y'all don't care about that. Y'all don't care. He said the North Vietnamese and Viet Cong rejected the U.S. help because they viewed the U.S. as an imperialist invader replacing French colonial rule. They might be bitter still. They haven't moved on. They have moved on. Maybe the government hasn't. The people have. They viewed them as an imperialist invader because that's what we are, Hugh. Okay, what do you think we're doing now? Oh, in Iran, along with Israel, which is the same way. You see, the media is so treacherous. They're so ornery that they won't tell you really that Israel occupied southern Lebanon from 1982 to 2000. They're over there fighting now, killing thousands and thousands and thousands of people. Okay, they've taken your attention away. This war has taken your attention away from Gaza. These people are Hitler in these times right now. When people look back on, we're living through history right now, guys. When people look back on these times, they're going to say these guys were worse than Hitler. Hitler-esque. These guys are monsters, man. Like, wow. He said, to give you a glimpse of how they lie so much, Donald Rumsfeld flew down to my base at Fort Irving and had a news conference. The entire speech was scripted, and as an NCO, we were told what questions to ask. He said going there would be like booking a trip on the Titanic. He said people only bragging because of airstrikes. Yeah, like it's a football game. Like somebody scored a touchdown. Not realizing that, you know, imagine 165 young girls ages 6 to 12 killed. Along with their teachers and administrators in there. We're targeting hospitals, schools, medical centers, and we're double tapping. They're trying to decimate an ancient civilization. America's only 250 years old, guys. Let that sink in. We couldn't be that stupid. And we think that we've got all the answers over there. We're cut from a different cloth, man. We're a different beast, guys. We're so arrogant that it's a shame. We've only been in existence for 250 years. You're talking about thousands a year. Do you think those people are just going to give up and surrender? Iran, Japan, Vietnam are three of the countries whose people will fight till they die, to death. Americans aren't cut from that. Canadians aren't cut from that. Australians, British, France, we're not built like that, guys. Okay? You cannot win a war against them. Because as long as one Iranian is alive, they're going to fight back. They know that. If they don't know it, they better know it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. They had some black guy talking about the war, and this fucker has already received over $16 million from AIPAC. But this is the kind of shit we put up with. You know, so they're going to finance his campaign, and he's a Democrat, by the way, against anybody that opposes him. They're going to just pour money. They're just going to shut you out and put him up there, prop him up there again. He's talking about we got to fight over there to protect American interests, American people. You a damn lie. And I tell you to your face, you lying. You took all that money from AIPAC. You better say it or they'll kill your ass. He said most members of Congress have an AIPAC handler, and AIPAC doesn't have to register as a foreign lobby, even though they are lobbying for a foreign government, which is treason on on the part of a lot of our politicians. I mean, these guys aren't even hiding it. Lindsey Graham and Mike Huckabee and all these guys, Ted Cruz. You know, it's like, dude, you America. It's supposed to be America first. What happened to America first? Marco Rubio said it. When they asked him about all the imminent threat of Iran, he said, well, we knew Israel was going to attack Iran. And so we knew that Iran was going to attack us. So we had to respond. We couldn't wait. Man, come on, guys. Yeah, it's true. That's what the lady said today, the Department of Energy head. She said they have enough through April, which is only next month. If they don't find a replacement source, life things will go from bad to worse. Keep in mind, Iran is bombing oil refineries, and so is the United States and Israel. And they're poisoning the water supplies. Remember, over there in the desert and over there in the Middle East, without water, it's not using nothing. What we're saying, I told you yesterday, it's only going to get worse if they keep fighting. Iran is going to fight to the end. Okay, the United States is reaching out through intermediaries trying to forge a ceasefire. They're not telling you that, though. They're running out of interceptors. Their ships are going to be sitting ducks with those drones. See, we wasn't ready for that. This shock and all shit that we try to do, it's not working. And, okay, y'all heard me say this. Believe it or not, man, tactical nuclear weapons are on the table to try to destroy the uranium storage in those mountains that Iran has. And imagine the fallout of that. Okay, imagine the fallout from that, because it's going to happen. Okay, people are worried about, I told y'all this on my last live stream. I said the only people that I'm afraid would use nuclear weapons would be Israel or America, but I said Israel. And it's about to come to fruition, because that's the only way that they're going to try to make some headway. Iran is not going to stop, man. The Vietnamese didn't stop, did they? I wore my shirt today, not because I'm promoting Vietnam, but I wanted the shirt. I felt safe over there because I knew they wasn't coming to Vietnam and fighting nobody. He said, let's not forget about Venezuela and Cuba and Greenland. It's all a distraction. Yeah, Because they were right, Q. We are imperialistic invaders and have been. Okay, well, who the hell is the United States propping up? Israel. Okay? And look at all the destruction Israel has done. Okay? Well, two things can be correct at the same time, Josh. I don't know why you want to keep coming on here trying to make your case against Iran. Iran was attacked. Do you realize that, don't you, Josh? They just defended themselves. Every time they went into it with Israel, every single time, they've been attacked first. Okay? So we don't want to hear this. We can condemn Iran and what they've done. All the stuff you're talking about here, we condemn that. But also condemn the fact that America and Israel are imperialistic invaders and they're killing women and children and babies. And guess what? Russia, by the way, is cooperating with Iran, giving them information to kill U.S. servicemen. But yet, guess what? We're rewarding Russia. We're letting them sell their oil. There are no sanctions. We've lifted sanctions, Josh Lau. Make that make sense. Okay? Because y'all just babbling. You're not listening to nobody. He's kissing Putin's ass because Putin had something on him. Okay? America's a fucking infant. But these guys just gonna keep on with it. He said, Cal, you wasting your time. I am. I really am. But it's just what I deal with, man. Americans, we're built different, man. The guy said it the other day, the professor. He said America's the most propagandized people on the planet. We are. We believe the shit too. Yeah, hit the like button, guys. Thank you. He said Americans are not used to that tough war life. We're not. He said the whole administration is making big money now. You know, see, history don't mean anything. Look at this, what he said. In 1946-47, the U.S. smuggled 800 Nazis into the U.S., changed their names, and gave them jobs. History doesn't matter. Hitler studied in America. Okay, the eugenics and all that stuff, he came over here because we were practicing eugenics over here. They were treated, believe it or not, the Nazi soldiers, the ones who were prisoners of war, were treated better than black people. Imagine being a black man in the military in the 40s. Okay? But y'all think it don't matter. Yeah, it matters. If you want to talk about World War II and, Israel and all of that, it matters. They were treated better than the black soldiers, the prisoners of war. Look that up if you don't believe it. Hey, thank you, brother. He said, I finally caught you live. Salute, Unc. Hope you and Maryland had a great time on y'all's recent vacation. It was much needed. It was much needed, guys. I promise you. I wasn't even worried about vlogging. I did that for my viewers and subscribers and my supporters. We're already talking about going back. You know, you're talking about a guy who's already, I'm talking about Trump, who's already been convicted in a civil case of sexual abuse, but he's a sexual predator. He's a sexual abuser. We heard him on tape say, yeah, I just walk up to him and grab him by the pussy. If you do that, you're going to prison for a long, long time. But because he's Trump, okay, and because they all involved in that, it's okay for him to do that and say stuff like that. You do that. Go up and grab a woman by the pussy anywhere in the world, and you're going to spend the rest of your life in prison. But it's okay for him to do it. These are the people that y'all support. Imagine if he did your wife like that or your mother like that. Thank you. I already said that. He said this war would have happened regardless of who holds office. The Zionist lobby has lost influence in recent years because of Palestine. Yeah, but they still have enough control over our stupid ass Congress that even if the Democrats win the midterms, they're not going to stop the war. They're still going to fund it. Okay, guys? But we were talking about how life is going to be impacted over here. We're way over here in Southeast Asia. And the bullshit that's going on in the Middle East has affected us. Here we are now. Ordinary Filipinos are going to suffer, man, because they want regime change. But now that they know that that can't happen, they change it. First it was, we want regime change. We're going to go in there. We're going to liberate the Iranian people. They see that's not going to happen. Now we're going to get rid of their nuclear program for good and all. We're going to get rid of all their ballistic missiles and everything like that. Russia's already said, we're getting ready to bring Iran under our nuclear umbrella. So if you drop nuclear weapons on Iran, it's like dropping it on us. So we're already at the doorstep of World War III. But when you say stuff like that, people think you crazy because we're not getting the information, guys, over in America. They're not showing you the damage that's being done in Israel. They're showing you a very little bit of it because they made that mistake in the 12-day war 8 months ago. That shows you that Israel can't, do anything against Iran. Bullshit ain't, yeah, you right. Thank you. But Josh Law wants to get on here with his foolishness. Stuff that he's learning on Fox. He doesn't realize that Russia is helping Iran to kill U.S. servicemen, but guess what? We're doing nothing. Okay, because Putin had something on Trump. Well, why don't we stop Russia? Why don't we place sanctions on Russia again? Why won't we stop them from selling their oil? Okay, why won't we do anything against Russia? Okay, then, not only that, but they're just destroying Ukraine. He said, ban a car. I wouldn't be banning nothing right now. He said, let me handle Josh. He's on Fox right now, then coming back on here. Okay, Q. Yeah, he's got major info. They all do. Imagine being a black soldier in World War II. Or any of the wars. Okay? And you see them treating the enemy, the Nazis, better than you. You're talking about 1940 something. We were still second-class citizens. There was no civil rights bill then. We were right in the throes of Jim Crow, being brutally oppressed in America, but y'all act like we're supposed to forget about that. But you want to talk about Pearl Harbor, and you want to talk about the establishment of Israel, which all happened around that same time, but you don't want to talk about the brutal oppression of black people, black soldiers, black people, period. Oh, you Calvin, let that go. Right. Because history don't matter to y'all. The news is shut down coming out of Israel and America. They're telling you that only 8 people have been killed. That's bullshit. Okay? He said, you bet I'll ban a bicycle. Yeah, we're not going to get rid of you, man, because I respect you. We want to teach you, though. We want to teach you. We want you to start thinking for yourself. Okay? Because, when you spit facts, guys, they call you a racist. I got people in San Carlos City said, oh, we don't watch Calvin anymore because he's with that racist stuff. Oh, really? Like I invented racism. Okay? Like you know so much about racism. It's never been practiced against you. This is what people hear. Some of the guys I used to play tennis with. Captain Jim told me. See, they'll talk to him about that. Oh, we don't fool with Cal no more because he's always talking that racist stuff. No, I'm telling you facts. I'm not a racist. Being a racist won't benefit me one bit. Okay? But I know that's why y'all don't mess with me. He said, looks like I'm going to have to work a little longer. Any brown people, you don't see them. That's why they're so angry at Russia for invading Ukraine. But if Russia would have invaded a brown country, they wouldn't be giving a damn. These are just facts. That's all. He said, Sunshine Shows, I love your channel, brother. I watch every time you upload. Keep up the good work. I've been here for 2.5 years, and your info is 100% accurate every time. I just keep the focus on me, really. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing, living, experiencing. I really appreciate your support. You know, it's not about the trendy subjects and topics anymore. Because you're going to run out of content if you do that. If you're a YouTuber and that's all you're doing, that'll last you for a little while. But after a while, you're going to run out of that stuff. You're still going to be watching videos on relationships and LDRs and stuff. It's all that information is out there. Okay? We shouldn't have to make another video about that. But we do because y'all want to be reassured over and over that you can get a girlfriend over here. Marilyn, tell them, can they get a girlfriend over here? You heard her, didn't you? We see it all the time and we laugh. When we came back from Vietnam and we seen that pencil head guy with tattoos all over the place complaining in Burger King because they got his order wrong. And I said, see, that's 18 to 80 blind crippled are crazy. But guess what? It's backfiring, guys. That's why a lot of Filipinos are getting abused by foreigners. See, y'all don't want me to make that video. Okay? I made it for my Patreon because I asked the question, why are so many Filipinos being abused today by foreigners? I put the video on my Patreon because y'all would go crazy because I'd be stepping on your toes. 18 to 80 is backfiring over here. Everybody's got the memo. They can come over here and get a wife or girlfriend, but guess what? And that's what they're doing. They're coming over here in droves. Even the bad guys. Filipinos aren't asking for no background checks, the psychological history, okay? The marriage history, the criminal background checks, none of that. And they can't afford to pass these guys up. So they're losing their lives, man. It's some sick people. They're not asking for a psychological background check. Crazy guys coming over here. You know, they put on that front for the first 30 days. The woman gives in, and then they show their true colors. And they end up stabbing her 63 times. Or stabbing her in the face and the torso trying to kill her. Because she won't show you what's on her phone. See, y'all ain't ready for that video. That's why I put it on my Patreon. But that's what's happening. 18 to 80 blind crippled are crazy. Folks coming here on wheelchairs, walkers, blind. They can't hear. Crazy. Yeah. He said, Roger said, what's up, Marilyn? You know, but y'all think I'm just saying it. Marilyn laughs every time because she sees it. Okay? Hey, what's up, Michael Onstad? Thanks for that super sticker. This is the Michael Onstad that I pin on my videos all the time because it's important. He's a fellow insurance agent. You know, we're worried about everything but the right things to be worried about. I want to shout out Philippine Antics. I'm going to send them something. I haven't sent them anything yet. And they're they've got a, I don't know what, their medical emergency and asking people to help on their behalf. Okay. But if we talk to Michael Unset first, that's going to go a long way. He can get you a policy. He said, ask Merle if she wants you to put the wig back on. No, but Merle, I get a lot of my information from Merle. And Merle's, man, could have a hell of a channel, but I won't expose her to these sick people out here. She's the one that told me, because I was so naive, that Filipinos are chatting with 3 and 4 men at the same time. Okay? Why didn't I think of that? Because I'm naive. I'm thinking you're going one-on-one with the lady. No. No. I'm sorry. Because they don't know which one of y'all are coming. And all they're going to do is increase the odds of meeting somebody. Because that's the whole point. The party don't start till you get here. You can't apply for the visa until you've come here. The new lifestyle. You can do for her what her God can't do. Hey, what's up? Off the cup with Jamie. It's a good guy, man, from Canada, man. You still in Canada or you made your way back here? He came to our meet and greet in Davao. We had a good one, right? But we can do for her what her God can't do. We can reshuffle the deck and deal her a brand new hand. Okay? New name, new lifestyle, new culture, new country, everything. But you don't know that. Okay? You just come over here and lay down and get run over. We're not talking about taking advantage of anybody. That's all. We're just telling you how important you are in the relationship. But you got bloggers out there to get on me for saying it. Oh, Cal, you shouldn't say we're the prize. Well, we are. Okay? We can give her a new life. She's reborn when she deals with you, if she meets the right one. But if she doesn't meet the right one, good luck. Yeah, Jamie, man. It was good, man. I'm glad you came to that meet and greet. Because it really was a good one. Yeah, Mike Onstead's a good guy, man. He don't play, man. He's from Canada. He said, out the mud. Yeah, we reshuffle the deck and deal her a new hand. That's all I'm saying. You can't downplay that. But you can't do that until you get over here. So that's why she's on not only is she dealing with 4 or 5 men, she's on 4 or 5 different dating sites. You're the only one that's on one dating site because you got to pay. You'll go broke trying to keep up with that woman. So she'll tell you, okay, I found you, you found me, go ahead and cancel your account on Filipino Cupid. Meanwhile, she's got Dating in Asia, Christian Filipina, Cebuana.com, Cherry Blossom, Panay Love, and all that. Still chatting with men because she don't believe you coming over here. Because she's listened to all those lies before. I'm coming, he never comes. I've got guys, man, listen, who've been chatting with women for 5 years and they still haven't come. Thinking she's waiting on them. Huh? Getting her back blown out. And you think she's waiting on you. You sending all that money over here. Bullshit. Okay? She's not waiting on you. He said, yeah, I loved it. I didn't want to film, just hang out. You got us on video. LOL, great night. Loved it. Man, TJ laid that out, man. I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to spend that kind of money. I don't have it. Imagine he rented the whole 32nd floor with the infinity pool, open bar. I mean, if you was a drinker, you could drink whatever you wanted all the way up, and I guess to 10 o'clock or something. Had the food spread. The DJ. Guys, he laid it out. Okay? I couldn't believe it. Because I'm like, well, how much does it cost? Because some guys like, can I get a drink? I was like, yeah, go up. I don't know how much it's going to cost. Nothing. Everything was free. He said, yes, sir. Just the numbers alone prove that men are indeed the price. Guys, you can do what her God can't do. Okay? If you don't hear nothing else, listen to that. You can reshuffle the deck. Okay? And deal her a new hand. Because a lot of the women over here, they're not satisfied with the hand they would deal. They felt cheated. So you do everything. A new name. A new lifestyle. A new culture. A new country. Everything's new. Yeah, it just went up. Okay, it went up, guys. The price of relationship just went up. Thank Trump for that. Because there's a lot of MAGAs over here. And to make that make sense to me. And you know they don't like brown people, but they over here in a brown country. So thank Trump that you're paying more for your LDR. Okay, I'm sorry. Thank the orange man. But yeah, guys, I got to get out of here. Okay. Yeah, he said be prepared to travel, guys. Man, I'm going to tell you something. If this thing keeps going, which we know it is, Iran's not going to quit. Plane tickets are going to be just ridiculous coming over here. Remember when the Philippines opened back up, when the skies opened back up from the pandemic? Y'all call it the pandemic? Not me. I believe it happened. It's going to be expensive again. Man, I'm glad I'm over here right now. Okay, Cisco. He said, I don't even speak to these guys unless they say hi to me first. Thanks, Roger. Because Maryland, I know I smell the food in there. And they want you to cook. Okay. I mean, they want you to eat when they cook. You don't even be hungry. They want you to cook.
There's another bill of water.
Another what?
Water bill.
How much?
484.
Oh, wow, it went down. But it's going to go up.
But they put I just paid yesterday, right?
Yeah.
They put it in here. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's why.
But I already.
Yeah. But electricity's going up over here, guys. That's another consequence of, hey, what's up, Phil? It's my buddy from the Ville. He said, I'm coming back, man. See you there. Man, I hope you come and spend a couple of days at the guest house. I had a great guest and his girlfriend, man. They were fun, man. They were interesting. He fought in the Iraq War, man, but he's a younger guy, like 50, I think. I really enjoyed the few days they were here, man. He said, hey, Cal, he said, can I use some of your material on my video? Yeah, as long as you're not bashing me, man, I don't care. But if you bashing me, you know, I gotta hit you, man, with the copyright, but I don't mind. It's more exposure for me. I don't mind. But just don't bash me. You know, don't try to bash me with my own material. You know, that's all I'm saying. I don't care. Yeah. That's what it says, I Love LaChan. We had the lowest that we've had in a long time, 6,000. We just paid it yesterday. 6,126. That's the lowest we've had. Yeah, you can kiss that goodbye, Raymond, because they said it. I didn't mention this, but it's going up half of a peso per kilowatt. But it's going to go up more than that. They're going to raise it up without telling you. They don't need your permission. Remember when I paid that $17,000? I paid a 17,000 peso electric bill, right? And guess what? The people here push back. The ordinary Filipinos, because they're skyrocketed too. That's almost like double what it would normally be. So imagine if you used to paying 1,000 and then yours comes in at 2,000. They push back, and it never happened again. They retreated. That's all we have to do, but we're not gonna do it. Hey, thanks, Words Milano, for that super chat. He said, Cal, I would never bash you. Me and my mom watch and love your content. Thank you, man. Yeah, you can use it. Go ahead. He said, I'm excited about my $1,800 month of rent going up in a few months. Yeah, it's a lot of this stuff I'm talking about today, guys. It's not going to take effect immediately, and that's what's going to fool you guys. You're going to say them guys were panicking, they're lying, and next thing you know, your building costs are going to go up, your rent's going to go up, everything's going to go up, guys. There's no end in sight with this. Israel has different objectives in America. Israel wants Iran wiped off the map. That's part of their greater Israel. I don't know what Trump don't know what he wants. Does he want to liberate the people, regime change, get rid of the ballistic missiles, get rid of their nuclear capability, which they never had? Nuclear weapons are a deterrent. I'm going to say that before I get over here. You realize that they don't go knocking on the door of anybody that has nuclear weapons. Look at North Korea. Who's worse than them? Okay? Libya had nuclear weapons. They gave it up, and guess what? He's out of there. They said that he was sodomized with a sword. You know, they wasn't fooling with Gaddafi when he had the nuclear weapon, man. They wouldn't be in Iran right now if Iran had a nuclear weapon. Saddam Hussein did not have a nuclear weapon. The rest is history. Anybody that's got a nuclear weapon, they're not going to mess with you. They're not stupid. No, come on, man. As long as it's safe, we don't know what's going to happen, guys. Are people going to start blowing themselves up like they were trying to do before? The shoe bomber. What's the black guy from Africa? Where his didn't. He had one in his shoe. It's the reason why we take our shoes off. It didn't go off. I wouldn't be trying to fly nowhere right now. I'm sorry. I ain't trying to scare anybody. I was so happy we got back from Vietnam, man, in one piece. But this is what happens when you deal with people who are going to fight to the last man. We picked a fight with the wrong people, guys. I'm sorry. Okay, thank you, Jamie. I mean, I'm just saying. He's right about this. Look, Vietnam's ahead of us, way ahead of us. They're already getting ready to put in law where they're going to get rid of all gas-powered vehicles. Now, will that happen? How long will that take? But they're already manufacturing over there. Here Trump is signing bills that are discouraging the electric vehicle manufacturing over there. We're staying back in the Neanderthal days. When you go to these countries, and we always say, oh man, this looks like the West. Because it is. They caught us up with us, guys. All you got to do, if you don't believe me, go on there. Our infrastructure, man, is falling down the list. We're nowhere near the top now. We're barely in the top 10. And you talking about America. Hell, Amtrak is our high-speed rail. Y'all crazy, man. I love Amtrak, though. I rode it from from L.A. to Chicago. One of the best life experiences I've ever had. It was always something I wanted to do, I put it out there in the universe, but I did it. I didn't plan to do it. I just freaked out. I was out in LA and it was time for me to go back home, and man, I started having an anxiety, a panic attack. And when they knocked on my door, the shuttle to take me to, Los Angeles, it's called LA International Airport, whatever it was, I didn't answer the door. I was online and I bought a one-way ticket, man, to Amtrak, man. Luckily, they had one leaving that same night. But it was comfortable, man. The seats are wide. I mean, you don't even have to have a lay-down place. Cost me $273. And then they got this glass. They got a glass car where you can see 360 degrees. Oh, man, it's beautiful. He said, and don't forget they're communists. They're supposed to be backwards over there. What you showed, yeah, put Manhattan to shame. Yeah, I'm just saying they're supposed to be socialists and all that, right?
You know what she did? She ordered
Who? Ordered what?
a doll for her classmate.
All of them?
9 of them didn't go no because that's so mad.
Well, take her to Unitop.
No, she's already ordered.
How much?
Zap and
He said VinFast, Vietnam's own car and truck company, only makes electric vehicles. They want to eliminate all gas motorcycles in Saigon within 2 years. You see? He lives there. This is a guy who could live anywhere in Southeast Asia, or really the world. He chose after living in the Philippines for 10 years. By the way, I want you guys to understand this. Most of you watching this will never make it to 10 years in the Philippines. And then they decided, hey, we want to move to Bangkok. They went to Thailand a few times. Then they went to Vietnam. Okay, and the rest is history. Yeah, here's our Discord, guys. It's really nice. I only remember to get on there when I get a notification. But man, they be going back and forth on here. Stocks, general stuff, sports. No, I'm not laughing at, I like Amtrak, but I'm saying when you put it up against the rest of the world, man, it shows you how far back we are. And the cars and stuff. My name on there is Sunshine Shoulders. I got some old funny looking emoji. He said, I met the Jamaican guy Cal wanted me to hook up with. He turned out to be a pretty cool guy. Yeah, Michael's a great guy. He was in Vietnam in the 90s. He said, Cal, the Vietnam you visited and the one I visited, 2 different places. He said you had to give him your passport. You couldn't go outside the perimeter of your hotel. It's come a long way. But let me get off here, guys. Thank y'all for your super chat, super stickers, all your thumbs up, all your support for Sunshine Shoulders. War is a dirty business. Nobody wins in war, man. They're only losers. 2 things can be correct at the same time. I can condemn the Iran theocracy and also condemn the murderous rampage that the United States and Israel is on right now, killing innocent women, children, and babies. It was a United States Tomahawk missile that destroyed that girls' school in Iran and killed all them young girls ages 6 to 12. I condemn that. I want the MAGA to come on here and say they condemn it. They won't do it. Oh, that's part of war, you say, until it happens to you.